Alright, so I had mentioned that I had another build I was doing and that I would show it off real quick. This is most likely going to be a short video. So we've got 3 Silverstone fans. 2 of them are on the Cooler Master Tower. That's the Hyper 212 Evo. The other one's up top. And in the front here is glass panel that's honestly kind of close to the glass. I mean, close to the case. I'm not a real big fan of that. So I added an extra set of fans right here to help pull in some air in the front. I also added that extra grill here. So those are aftermarket. It has a 6-core processor in it. AMD 6350 or something like that. 2 R7 370s, 4 gig, which, you know, they're kind of old, but, you know, whatever. And I also know that the SLI and Crossfire is dead now, but this was more just like, sort of like a beauty build. Excuse me. So this was more like a beauty build, and sort of, you know, just pulling the parts that I had and excuse me, my God. So anyways, this is more of a beauty build, and just taking some parts that I had from old builds, like these are my old cards, and I made a new build out of it. And yeah, so it's got a Asrock 970 Extreme4 motherboard. It's overclocked to 4.5 gigs. 16 gigs RAM. And 2 SSDs along with 3 HDDs. One of them is 500 gig HDD. The 2 others are 160 gigs. And then the 2 SSDs are 240 gigs, and those are for the operating system and virtual machines. I'll come around to the other side here. It's dark, and I'm not sure that I can get the flash to come up. Well, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. What I might do is flip the light on real quick. There we go. So this is what it looks like in the light, fully lit up. And I still don't think you're going to be able to see all that much in the back because it's dark. Yeah, I'd have to turn the flash on the camera to get that. Maybe I'll do a quick shorter video with the flash on. We'll see. But yeah, there it is. There it is. And I've got other builds that I can show off at some point, I'm sure. Alright, there's that. Alright, so this one here, real quickly with the flash on. I apologize for any glare that you're getting. I'm trying to not let that happen too much. Alright, let's go into the back now. So yeah, the sticker on the power supply is upside down, but there isn't anything that can be done about that. There's the two hard drives, this SSDs anyways. And the other one there. And then there's two more down here. Yeah, so that's what it looks like with the flash on versus lights off. Even though it has eSATA and FireWire, it also has USB 3.0 and 3.1. So it's, you know, relatively updated, but, you know, also old at the same time. Alright. There you are. Alright, so yeah, there you are. There's that one shown off. Once again, thanks for checking out my videos. Okay, so since the last time I made a recording on this computer, I had done some upgrades. And I took out the 500 gig HDD that had games on it and replaced it with a 500 gig SSD instead. So now this machine has 160 gig HDD with programs on it, two 240 gig SSDs, one with the operating system and the other one has virtual machines on it. Then there's a 500 gig SSD that has games on it. And then there's a 2 terabyte HDD for storage, which was also an upgrade from, I forget, might have been 160 gigs. Because at one point this machine had 3 160 gig drives in it, and then over time I had upgraded them. A lot, you know, of course it had the two 240 gig SSDs. So at first it was 2 SSDs with 3 HDDs, and now it has 3 SSDs and 2 HDDs. So it has the Asrock 970 Extreme4 motherboard, the AMD FX 6350 6-core, well, quote unquote, 6-core processor. I've got it overclocked to 4.5 gigs and it's been stable. Got a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo on it with 2 fans that are from Silverstone, so then they're in push-pull. There's 16 gigs of G.Skill DDR3 1600. I think they're Ripjaws, perhaps. I think so. There's the Thermaltake 700 watt RGB power supply. And we have 2 MSI R7 370s cross-fired, along with a custom MSI bridge. Then I have the RGB strip in there, and I upgraded the cooling a little bit with an intake fan from the front, like mini intake fans, because the glass was awfully close to the front of the case, so I added some extra cooling up at the front. So yeah, I mean, the machine's done. This is the one that I was talking about in the past videos of the reverse build, where I mentioned this red machine a couple times and stated I'd put a video up of it. And that's it here. I just figured I'd come back and do a final touch up on the video here, since there was some upgrades to the machine and it's no longer the same as it was when I originally did the videos. All in all, you know, the machine costs somewhere around $950 for the case, the motherboard, CPU, you know, power supply, the RAM, all the things, you know, just going down the list. And it's kind of crazy because if you think about that, right, that's $940 to make an old school build using older hardware, all except for the brand new power supply and like the brand new SSDs. But a lot of the stuff, you know, like the motherboard, the RAM, the CPU, graphics cards, they're all older now, you know, used hardware, but they're so expensive right now. I mean, everything is so expensive right now, and especially with the older hardware. But you would think getting older hardware would be easier. It's actually not. Luckily, I had some of this stuff already, but you know, tallying it up, you know, what I either paid for it or what it would have cost me is roughly around $950, which is insane considering, you know, you could make a much better build now with, you know, Zen 3 processor, R5 3600, and like, you know, an MSI Tomahawk motherboard and Trident Zenio RAM and things like that. You know, you put enough into it, yeah, it'll be roughly about $1,000, maybe a little bit more, depending on how much you put into the power supply, which it should be a decent one anyhow, but it doesn't need to be, you know, killer. Your SSDs, if you get an M.2 NVMe or not, you know, things like that. Eventually, yes, that build would end up becoming a kind of expensive too. But your very basic R5 3600 gaming build with, you know, an SSD boot drive and like a 1 terabyte gaming drive for storage or something, you're probably looking at maybe maybe $750, something like that. Because I know that I had put in $600 into an R5 3600, a MSI Mag Tomahawk motherboard, and Trident Zenio 3600 16 gigs. And that was $600 just for those components alone, never mind power supply or anything else. Anyways, the point being here is this older build is roughly around $950, maybe a little bit more, give or take, possibly a little bit less, but 900, let's just say, to be fair, which is just so much money. And I mean, again, fortunately, I had some of these things already, like the two graphics cards and the motherboard, things like that. Stuff that I paid new. The case was brand new. Power supply was brand new. But I still had to purchase things like, you know, the Cooler Master Hyper 212 and you know certain things like that, and of course the SSDs. You know, those things. But certain stuff that I already had on me, luckily, you know, would have lowered the cost of the build. But if I was to like tally up all of the cost of everything, either what I paid for or what I would have paid, let's just say about $900, which, you know, being older hardware and what it would cost to build a newer hardware computer at, let's say, $600 to $500 on a cheaper side, you know, maybe $900 to $1,000 on the higher end or something like that. And that's on a good day too. Let's just say when, you know, prices aren't ridiculous for graphics cards and everything else. But yeah, I mean, right now, 2000. What am I saying? And right now, 2021. You know, the prices aren't so great. Hopefully that will change. Anyways, yeah, I guess we'll end that here. Thanks for watching, and I'll put up new videos as I come across things. I mean, fortunately, I haven't run into any problems that I've had to diagnose and then share, which is great. I mean, sure, no content, but I'd rather not be running into headaches all the time either, you know? Okay, anyways, I guess we'll end it here. Again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.